Yuki Kawamura made significant progress toward the NBA by signing a two-way contract with the Memphis Grizzlies. From his standout performances in Japan's B-League to making history with the Grizzlies, his path to the NBA is one of determination and growth. But what exactly does a two-way deal mean, and why is it such a big deal for Yuki? Let's get into it. Yuki Kawamura's promotion to two-way contract. When you think about breakout stories in the preseason, Yuki Kawamura's name deserves to be at the top of the list. The Memphis Grizzlies didn't just promote him to a two-way contract out of nowhere. This move came after a string of performances that made it impossible to ignore him. At just 5 feet 8 inches, the 23-year-old Japanese guard didn't let his size hold him back. Instead, he turned heads with sharp playmaking, poise, and confidence every time he stepped on the floor. He participated in all 5 preseason games, averaging 3.4 points and 4.2 assists while playing just over 15 minutes per game. Notably, he led the team with a total of 21 assists. This isn't just commendable, it demonstrates his impact.
They told me to go score every time, and after game, before game, and they told me that.
Yuki didn't only show potential, he exhibited control, vision, and a calm presence uncommon for a rookie entering the NBA. What I appreciate about this promotion is that it's not simply a reward for hard work. It's an acknowledgement of an exceptional basketball IQ. He reads the game as if he's been in the league for years, showing no panic and avoiding forced plays, instead focusing on intelligent, efficient basketball. That's what really stood out. Now, a two-way contract isn't a full-time NBA gig, but it's a major opportunity. It means Memphis sees a real upside, enough to invest in his development. He will split time between the Grizzlies and the Memphis hustle, but if he keeps trending up like this, don't be surprised if those NBA minutes start to grow. Clearly, Yuki is here to prove that he belongs. Understanding NBA two-way contracts. Yuki Kawamura's path to the Grizzlies. So now that when Yuki earned that two-way contract, it's worth digging into what that actually means, because a lot of people throw the term around without really understanding how it works. And in his case, it tells you a lot about both where he is right now and where the Grizzlies think he can go.
Memphis Grizzlies organization is so nice, and I have my teammates.
A two-way contract is basically a bridge, not a guaranteed roster spot, but a real step into the NBA. Introduced in the 2017-18 season, these deals are designed specifically for players with fewer than 4 years of NBA experience, which makes them tailor-made for someone like Yuki. The structure allows him to split his time between the Grizzlies and their G League affiliate, the Memphis Hustle, while gaining valuable experience and guidance from NBA-level coaching staff. Financially, it's a setup that works for both sides. Players earn a salary based on the rookie minimum, depending on how many days they spend with the NBA team, and they can appear in up to 50 regular season games. These contracts don't count toward the team's 15-man roster limit, meaning franchises can carry 2 extra developmental players without sacrificing a roster spot. For Memphis, it's a flexible, low-risk move. For Kawamura, it's a real opportunity. The Grizzlies made this decision because they saw more than preseason flashes. They saw potential built on a foundation of consistent play in Japan's B-League and international tournaments. This deal allows them to evaluate him in real time without rushing. And for Yuki, it bridges everything he has done overseas with everything he aims to become in the NBA. This is his entry point, and if he continues on the same path, it could evolve into something much bigger. The door's open. Now it's up to him to walk through it. Yuki Kawamura's journey to Memphis. What makes this two-way deal even more impressive is when you really understand where Yuki came from. Before landing in Memphis, he was dominating in Japan's B-League. We are talking about a league MVP, a guy who led his team with poise, leadership, and a style of play that made him stand out. But even with that kind of success overseas, jumping to the NBA is a whole different story. Yuki began his basketball career at Fukuoka Daiichi High School, leading his team to multiple championships. His early success earned him recognition as a specially designated player for San Neo Phoenix in the B-League at 18 years old, making him the youngest player in the league's history. Yuki's rise continued as he joined the Yokohama B COURSIDER in 2020. Despite initially balancing his B-League career with studies at Tokai University, he decided to pursue basketball full-time in 2022. This decision paid off significantly as he dominated the 2022 to 2023 season, winning both the B-League MVP and Rookie of the Year awards. His impressive performances included being named to the B-League Best Five and earning the Kokoro Tagiru Award for inspiring fans. In September 2024, Yuki took the next step in his career by signing with the Memphis Grizzlies. Initially on a training camp deal, his contract was converted to a two-way contract in October 2024, allowing him to split his time between the Grizzlies and their G League affiliate, the Memphis Hustle.
It was a special moment. Yeah, I love it. Yeah.
This move made him the fourth Japanese player to join the NBA and the first from the B League. He said, "I can only thank the coach and those around me for giving me this opportunity. I've finally stood on the starting line. I believe there is much more of a challenge to come." What's also interesting is how rare this path is. Not many B-League MVPs have made the leap directly into the NBA system like this. Yuki sets a new example, not just for himself, but for Japanese basketball as a whole. His success opens doors. It sends a message that talent from leagues like the B-League can translate if the mindset and work ethic exist. However, that journey has officially landed him in Memphis, first Japanese player to sign NBA two-way deal. And here's where it gets even more significant. With this contract, he becomes the first ever Japanese player from the B-League to sign an NBA two-way deal. That's not just a personal achievement. That's history in the making. Think about that for a second. The B-League has been growing year after year, producing high-level talent and gaining more international respect. But up until now, no one from that system had taken this exact path, straight from domestic MVP to the NBA's development track. Yuki joins a small group of Japanese players who have made it to the NBA, including Yuta Tabuse, Yuta Watanabe, and Rui Hachimura.
There are a few players like me and Rui Hachimura.
This provides young players back in Japan with someone to whom they can directly relate. It's the same league, same system, same dreams. Now with proof that it's actually possible. Memphis's move shows vision. They're not just scouting the usual pipelines, but finding talent where others are not always looking. Yuki is carrying a flag, stepping into uncharted territory and showing that barriers can be broken with enough grind and belief. What makes Yuki Kawamura's two-way contract unique? Salary, terms, and more. Now that Yuki's broken new ground, the next question is, what exactly makes his two-way contract stand out? Because this is not just another routine signing. There are layers to this deal that make it a little different from the average two-way setup. First off, let's discuss the financial aspect. Two-way contracts in the NBA typically feature a flexible pay structure. Players receive a set salary, while with the G League affiliate, and a higher prorated wage when they are called up to the NBA. For the 2024-25 season, the G League base is about $79,000, while NBA days can elevate total earnings to roughly $559,000, depending on time spent with the main roster. However, beyond the financial aspect, what makes this contract unique is the intent behind it. Most two-way players are viewed as long-term projects, but Yuki is different. The Grizzlies are bringing him in not just for development, but for him to contribute sooner rather than later. His maturity, leadership experience, and overseas track record give him a head start that most two-way signees lack. And in fact, he represents a new talent pool, which adds significant weight to this contract. It's not merely about minutes and money. It's about entering a system that hasn't traditionally welcomed players from his background. That's what gives Yuki's deal its distinctive identity. It combines aspects of a development deal, strategic investment, and a bold statement. Yuki Kawamura fits into Memphis's plans. So, with everything in place, the deal signed, the spotlight on him, the real question becomes, how does Yuki actually fit into what Memphis is building? Because a two-way contract is more than just an entry point. It's a piece of the puzzle in a team's larger plan. The Grizzlies are in an interesting phase right now. They have a core of young stars, but also deal with injuries, roster shifts, and a constant push to stay competitive in a stacked Western Conference. That's where a player like Yuki comes in. He's not being asked to carry a load, at least not yet, but he is expected to be ready. Be ready to step in, steady the second unit, and bring energy and control when needed. If you look at how Memphis builds its roster, this move makes sense. They value high IQ players who can adapt quickly, play confidently, and buy into the culture. Yuki checks all of those boxes. His ability to manage tempo, make smart reads, and keep the offense flowing makes him a valuable asset, even in limited minutes. Plus, having already led a pro team overseas, he brings rare maturity for a two-way player. Yuki Kawamura's Olympic and World Cup performances propel him to NBA opportunity. Another huge factor that can't be overlooked in Yuki's rise, his performances on the international stage, specifically at the FIBA Basketball World Cup and the Paris 2024 Olympics. These tournaments didn't just put him on the global radar, they solidified his status as an elite talent capable of thriving at the highest level. At the 2023 FIBA World Cup, Yuki delivered one of the most memorable performances of his career against Finland. Japan was down by 18 points, and yet he led a stunning comeback, scoring 25 points, including 15 in the fourth quarter. His dagger three-pointer over Finland's Lauri Markkanen was a defining moment, not just in the game, but in his career. That win, Japan's first in the World Cup in 17 years, showcased his fearlessness and ability to perform under pressure, making him an undeniable talent in the eyes of NBA scouts. He didn't stop there. At the Paris Olympics 2024, Yuki proved he could rise to the occasion again. With Rui Hachimura ejected, he took charge in Japan's second game against France, scoring 29 points, including 6 three-pointers, while contributing 6 rebounds and 6 assists. Despite facing defensive giants like Rudy Gobert and Victor Wembanyama, his clutch performance in critical moments, including scoring or assisting on all of Japan's final points in regulation, further solidified his reputation. Japan's star, Yuta Watanabe, shared, "We tried not to foul, obviously. If they made a 3, we were still up by 1. The last thing we could do was foul. I thought Kawamura did a great job, and I'm not going to blame him or anybody. They made a great play. There is a reason why they won silver in the Tokyo Olympics and are one of the greatest basketball teams in the world." These international performances highlighted Yuki's leadership growth, especially in high-stakes situations. His ability to deliver on the biggest stages, combined with his MVP winning season in Japan's B-League, where he averaged 19.5 points and 8.5 assists, made him an attractive NBA prospect. The Grizzlies took note, and now with a two-way contract, he is ready to continue his development while contributing to both Memphis and their G League affiliate.
So Memphis Grizzlies fans are so amazing. But a great team win, but I could have done more. Yeah.
The role of two-way contracts in the NBA. Yuki's signing isn't just about one player making the leap. It's also a reminder of how two-way contracts have quietly reshaped the NBA's talent pipeline. For years, international players like him faced a steep uphill climb even to get a shot in the league. But now, the two-way system is opening doors that didn't exist before, especially for guys from non-traditional routes. What's unique about this format is how it balances risk and reward for both sides. Teams can take a chance on developing talent without committing a full roster spot, and players get a real, structured path into the NBA. It's not just theoretical, it's working. And Yuki is living proof. Coming straight from Japan's B-League, without going through college hoops or the usual draft grind, he's found his way into one of the most competitive basketball environments in the world. This contract format also sends a signal to overseas leagues. Keep producing, because the NBA is watching more closely than ever. Yuki's rise shows that you don't have to be in Europe or the NCAA to get noticed. If you have the skill, the mentality, and the body of work, there's a legitimate route now. So, while Yuki's individual story is inspiring, it also reflects a broader shift. The league is evolving. talent discovery is global. Two-way contracts are one tool, helping bridge that gap between potential and opportunity. In the coming years, his name might be mentioned as a pioneer and a turning point. Memphis Grizzlies bet on Yuki. Everything we've talked about, the journey, the performances, and the structure of the deal, leads back to one thing. Memphis sees something in Yuki Kawamura that's worth betting on. And it's not just about skill. It's about potential and how it fits into what they're trying to build as a franchise. The Grizzlies are a team known for developing talent. They don't just chase big names, they invest in players who have room to grow and the mindset to do it. In Yuki, they see more than just a playmaker. They see a competitor, a leader, someone who's faced pressure at every level and come out sharper for it. He's shown he can adapt, learn quickly, and stay locked in. Exactly the kind of profile that thrives in a developmental role. As the 2022-23 MVP of Japan's B-League, he averaged 20.9 points, 8 assists, and 3 rebounds per game, while leading the Yokohama B Corsairs. His consistency earned him a spot on the B-League's Best 5 team for 2 consecutive seasons. His international performances at the FIBA World Cup and Paris Olympics only added to his resume, where he averaged 20.3 points and 7.7 assists per game, showing he could compete with the best. And let's be honest, two-way contracts may not guarantee long-term security, but they do say a lot about what a team is willing to explore. This isn't a filler move. Memphis has plenty of options when it comes to filling those slots. Giving one to Yuki means they believe his ceiling is higher than most. There's no rush, no unrealistic expectations, but there's belief. The kind of belief that says, we don't need you to be perfect right now, we just need you to keep climbing. And if he continues to do what he's done at every step so far, this won't be the last deal he signs in the NBA. It'll just be the first. This is my dream stage, Yuki said. Whether I'm on for 40 minutes or 1, I'll be giving it my 100%. NBA and G League responsibilities. With the contract signed and the opportunity in front of him, the real work begins. And for Yuki, that means managing a unique balance. Being on a two-way deal means living in 2 basketball worlds. The NBA with the Memphis Grizzlies and the G League with the Memphis Hustle. It's not an easy rhythm, but it's part of the grind of earning a permanent NBA role. It's a back-and-forth lifestyle, both physically and mentally. You're practicing with the Grizzlies one week, maybe even suiting up against some of the league's biggest stars. The next, you're playing 30-plus minutes in a G League game, running the offense and leading the team. That swing requires focus, humility, and a willingness to adjust. And that's where Yuki's professionalism comes into play. What makes him so well suited to this dual role is his adaptability. He's already shown he can quickly read systems and execute within different schemes, a key trait for anyone bouncing between 2 teams. But beyond X's and O's, it's the mindset that matters most. Yuki's not treating G League minutes as a step down. He's treating them as reps, as learning, as a runway. This structure is ideal for Memphis. They can monitor his growth closely, while giving him space to develop game by game. For Yuki, it's all about staying ready, sharpening his game in the G League, absorbing NBA pace and style when called up, and showing that he's more than capable of handling both worlds with the same level of focus and fire. So, that's the breakdown of Yuki Kawamura's two-way contract and what it means for his journey with the Memphis Grizzlies. It's a unique opportunity that allows him to grow, contribute, and eventually make his mark in the NBA.
I gotta change your mindset.
The future looks bright for him, and this is just the beginning. What do you think about the Grizzlies' decision to sign him? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching.